319's live, so I've jumped in and discovered the subscriber ship this month was the Argo Mole. I usually only subscribe to get access to PTU so I can create content around the new features and patches. I don't normally use the subscriber vehicles. This time though, I thought mining's been reworked. I've never looked at the Mole, and I thought I'd do a quick tour of the ship and take it out and see if you can actually mine solo using it. As you can see, it's a big ship, not quite reclaimer size, but still big, heavy and slow. To access the ship, there's an elevator roughly in the middle at the bottom here. I said normally start in the up position, however I've already been in the ship, so in this case it's down. The elevator brings you into an engineering section where you should be able to replace some of the components. The two doors off to the side of the elevator are for the two side mining turrets, and we'll explore those in a minute. These here, they look like component access points. That's for the jump drive, and these other ones are not labelled, so I'm not sure what they'd be for. Hopefully we'll find out in the future when CRG does a bit of a rework of the Mole to give us that detail. Call button for the elevator there. This is the side turret. In this little compartment here, you've got a storage there for armor. I do like this animation when you sit in the turret. It's pretty cool. It detaches from the ship, slides you forward. One important thing to note here is that this turret is completely exposed to atmosphere, so if you're out and about using it, make sure that you have the suit, hence why there's a storage cubby right there at the front, so that you don't die while you're using the turret. Now obviously make sure that suit is capable of withstanding whatever environment you have to be in, whether it's too hot, too cold, vacuum of space, etc. So that other door is just a mirror of that side turret there. You got another storage cubby for a suit. The seat, turret, no different there. Yep, got stuck a bit there. Always frustrating. So off to the right hand side of the elevator. This is the ladder to the upper side of the ship. Up here is a living area. The door's a bit confusing. You don't quite realise it's there, but there's the door. This is a little kitchen area. That sticker there is kind of cool, telling people to clean up their mess. It's a shared area. There's a little table to sit on, and through this door to the front is another turret, which is the front lower turret. Now this turret's the one that as a solo miner you'd be using the most. It's the quickest to access from the cockpit, and actually has quite a good field of view in terms of what it can access on the ground. And with good ship positioning, yeah, you'll be seeing everything you need to see when you're mining. And through the next set of doors, you have the cockpit. There's two seats, one for the pilot, one for the co-pilot. The Mole doesn't have any real offensive weapons as of yet, so I don't see a role for the co-pilot. It does take me a minute here to work out. I need to approach the seat from the back to get the prompt to pop up so I can jump in. There we go, we got it. Alright, so let's take this big old girl out and see how viable it can be to mine solo with. As I said, she is big, heavy, and slow. And I don't quite make it out of this spaceport without touching. Like I said, first time flying it, so I'm still getting used to it. Didn't do any permanent damage though, maybe scratch some paint. Just as an aside, how beautiful is this game, seriously, at night. So as you can see, it's far from fast. It's not massively slower than other ships of a similar size, and with the reworked QT height at Orison, it's not too long till you're going to be able to get to QT height. So today we're going to head off to Daymar and have a go at mining on that planet. The reason for Daymar is it's close, it has titanium, which of all three of the basic ores sells for the most. So here we are at Daymar, found some rocks to mine, we're going to have a crack at solo mining. As I alluded to earlier, the position of the ship is very important for your turret operators. As a solo miner, you really want to have the ship hovering above, is it directly above the rocks? As I said, that bottom turret has quite a good traverse. It can look quite far down and to the left and right. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself getting out of that turret, moving closer to another rock, mining that one rock, getting back out of the turret into the pilot seat, moving the ship forward over and over and over again, which makes it a much longer process than it needs to be. One thing I did find interesting about these turrets is where to find the power switch to turn it on. It's not in any of the normal places you would think. Those switches, on any of the screens, on any of the controls for the stick controls there. Really hard to find. I actually had to search on the internet on where to find it. It pops up here in a second. There it is, randomly just off to the left hand side of one screen. Good job, CIG. The good thing is though that once you do have it switched on, you can get out of the mining seat and back in and the power stays switched on, so there's no faffing about constantly with that kind of stuff. So I've done a whole video on mining already, so I won't bore you with watching me mine the rocks here. I'll just chuck in a link to that video in the top right hand side of this one. Go and have a look at that one for a more in-depth video about mining in 3.19 for the mole. Yeah, for the mole, make sure your positioning is good. Put the ship above the outcropping of rocks and follow the normal mining tips. Turns out you can't mine crystals with a mole. Surprising. They're obviously for ground mining, which I have a video on that too. I'm going to chuck a link into this one for that one. Go have a look and have a gander at some ground mining with a rock and a cutlass. Alright, so that was about an hour of mining for me in the mole. For you guys, thanks to the magic of editing, about 2 minutes went by. The mole's now full of material. It's time to head on back to refinery and see what we can sell this raw material for. So here we are back at CRU L1 in the refinery level. Let's see what we can sell it for. Keep in mind that I was not selective as to what I grabbed, and you can refine this process by working out what's worth the most in the system you're working in and only grabbing the most profitable stuff. Avoid getting too much inert material. Upgrading your mining heads and other components can help with all of this. This video is only an overview of the mole and gives you an idea of how much you could make. Selling this lot nets me roughly 45k, not too bad for first run. And as I mentioned, you can refine this process and increase those profits. Obviously, if you were to refine the material and then ship it to a TDD on one of the planets to be sold, you could make even more money. However, refining takes time and money, so if you're just after quick profits, then selling the raw ore can still make you some decent money. So that'll bring this video to an end. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you think I've done a good enough job, leave a like, comment, maybe even subscribe. Each comment and like influences the algorithm to show more people my videos and helps the channel to grow. Also, it's 100% free for you. Thanks again, guys. Catch you in the next one. Cheers.